fucking fantastic. Please give it up for the incredible Dosch!
Oh, you guys. Thank you so much for coming on to Chatterbox, guys. Give yourself a round of applause. This is one of the best comedy shows in LA. It really is. It's the most fun to do it all the time. Do you not believe me? Well, I'm going on average, sir. I haven't been, here all night. Jesus. It's awful hostile right out of the gate, you ask me. You haven't seen my yet, sir. I'm gonna bust your comedy pussies open. Drench your laughter ovaries with giggle seed. Listen, man, I gotta open up filthy. I just do. I've been in Tahoe on the road doing gigs. It's a fucking nightmare. I mean, I'm in a shitty casino doing a half hour of comedy in front of 40 dudes that dress like Steve Bannon. It's like doing jokes to a pile of 3/4 pullovers. It's just repressive. I can't do it. I know. I think I felt. I shouldn't talk shit. I really shouldn't. I'm from South Dakota originally. Is anyone else from a place that just doesn't matter at all? Like you can't even see it on a map. Like the people there don't have souls. Like that kind of thing. Maybe not you guys. You guys look pretty aggressively local, if I may. Like you in particular, sir. You look like you homebrew your own energy drink, if I may be. I shouldn't talk shit. I don't know, especially when I go home, I've been going home a lot to see family to South Dakota recently, and every time I go home, especially with the election, people down there are they say things like, oh, I just feel like the people on the coast, they all just think that they're better than us, and I'm here to tell you guys, you very much are. I don't know what else to say, when I go home, and I talk to my friends who are my age who still live there, and I'm like, why the fuck would you still live here? Their answer is always just some variant of, oh, I don't value my own joy, that kind of thing. They're all nice or whatever, it's just... They're just fearful too. When I go home and I tell people that I live in Los Angeles now, guys, the terror on their corn-eating little faces. It's just, they'll be like, oh, Joe, what are you doing for a living now? Oh, I do stand-up comedy and living down in LA. They always react like, oh, this guy, aren't you worried about the earthquake? Not as much as I am this being the rest of my life. If I live in LA, I might die in an earthquake. If I live in South Dakota, I will live in South Dakota. This is a way more conservative bet I'm riding on than I think you realize. It's weird when you go, because I've been down here 6-7 years now. It's funny when you live in a place now that's super different from where you grow up, and then you go home, and things that were normal to you now seem just bizarre. One thing that strikes me as odd when I go home is you can buy bullets in the grocery store. That's a new... Bullets aren't food. They're not even light bulbs or detergent. They're not even close to groceries. And I don't mean they're in the gun section of the grocery store, meat, produce, guns. I mean in the middle of the store, there's a box of shotgun shells stacked up in a pyramid like Pepsi cans. Do you guys realize what that means? That means that is impulse bullets. That means you're meant to be... A store manager designed it such that you'll be walking through going, okay, I need mustard, I need bread. Oh, I do need ammo. Okay. I don't know. I get to go on the road a lot. I get to go to a lot of different places. I get to go to, cool places, and for lack of a better word, red state shitholes, let's call them. Here's the thing. I figured out the difference between red states and blue states is the thing that they weirdly differ on, but the thing they oddly kind of have in common. It's that red states treat guns the way blue states treat gender. Have you ever called a trans person the thing that they're not, and people will flip out on you, and they'll say something like, he's not a he, she's a she. Just because she still has a penis doesn't mean that she's not in the process of getting rid of it, or that has nothing to do with how they identify. You're just so ignorant and you want to impose your beliefs on everyone else, that kind of thing. But then I'll go home, and I'll talk to my friends in South Dakota and be like, oh dude, you just bought a new assault rifle. It's not an assault rifle! Just because it holds 20 rounds in the magazine and it's semi-automatic doesn't make it an assault rifle. You're just so ignorant and you want to push your views on the rest of us. That's the one thing guns and transgendered people have in common. I don't have a ton of overlap as far as I know. The trans people are pissing me off lately. Well, okay, I have 3 trans friends in my life. They're all male to female. And they all picked new like girl names when they transitioned, but all their girl names are names that could also be like boy names. Like the 3 trans people I know are named Riley, Bailey, and Robin. Like, could we get a Brittany in their team? Like, you're just, like, I want everyone to live their truth, but you're fucking with us a little. Like, give us like, hi, I'm Tiffany Ovaries McGee. Like, just go with the flow a little. Well, they do. Everyone likes the attention a little bit. I mean, I'm a gay person too. I read about it. I read about hate crimes every day. I just like the adrenaline spike. I don't know. It's just what I feel. Acceptance is boring. That's nothing. That's the one thing no one wants to admit. Gosh, it's exciting that everyone hates me. I always have to achieve shit to get attention. You know, I'm in a good mood, everyone. I've been down in LA doing comedy like 6-7 years, and I got to shoot my first thing for TV recently, which is like a dream of mine, and I feel good about it. You know, thank you. You know what? Wait, I'm not gonna be false and honest. Why? Although here's the thing, like it's hard to keep your ego under control. It's very easy to become a complete piece of shit. I don't need the hell. Like, I'll give you an example. Like my thing on TV, it aired on a Thursday night, right? Friday morning, I got an email from the library saying, Mr. Dosch, in 2 days your book is going to be due. Please return it, or here's a link. You can return it on. You can renew it online. A little bit of me did go, do you know who I am? Are you not concerned that your library materials are in use by a televised human? You mind your station, you impudent library. I can't have that. I've been a real diva at that library, everyone. I'm about to get banned from the Atwater Village branch. Had with me marched in there like I'm bearing everyone, and I do. Like, Mr. Dosch, you can only take 3 books at a time. I'll take 6! And I don't even intend to read them. I'm gonna drive in front of underprivileged elementary schools and chuck them into the sewer. Yeah! Swoosh! No! Not the giving tree. You ever read that book? That tree sucks. I call it the bitch tree. It's just a bitch tree. The whole story is a kid walks down the tree. Hey, can I have a bunch of shit? Yeah, sure. Now I'm dead in a stump. Bitch stump tree who sucks. He didn't love himself enough to set boundaries. That's what I love about comedy. I get to pretend to have strong opinions on things that are meaningless. It's very liberating. It's good to be here in Chatterbox. I've been doing a lot of shows on like the east side of LA lately, and I can't with those people anymore. It's like the whole east side of LA. They think if they stay ironically detached far enough from life that the angel of death won't be able to find them. Like, oh, don't take me, take this plaid scarecrow I have instead of a personality. I can't do that. By the way, I know this is probably a preposterous question before I ask it, but is anyone else in the room sober like I am? Cool. Energy drink, dude. Glad to hear it. Fucking railing on those monsters, though, aren't you? That's what I do, the fucking white ones. Those are the big Zero Ultra ones. They sure take the feeling of being alive off. For me, at least. You can kind of vouch for this, though, dude. I mean, like, correct me if it's hard feeling cool when you're sober. I mean, I got my life back and whatever, but like you catch yourself saying lame shit. You just do. You know what I said the other day, you guys? I swear to God, I said, man, I've had a really tough day. I'm gonna drink a squirt. A squirt. Gang, it is one of the lamest feelings in the world, I assure you. When you walk past the stove you once cooked ayahuasca on, to go to the fridge and get a squirt. Like, oh yeah, remember this device I used to cook psychedelic drugs in my house and I would commune with demon robots from another dimension? They would pin me down and jizz love and alien knowledge directly into my soul, but you know, now I have a fine grapefruit soda. It's a fine soda. 39 grams of sugar, Joe, you devil. We all know what ayahuasca is, right?
Yeah.
Everybody? Yeah, of course we do. This looks like a very Joe Rogan experience. Joe, you're in front of a bunch of broy people 30 miles east of Los Angeles. They know what ayahuasca is. You don't need to ask rhetorical. By the way, the fact that white people are now super into ayahuasca means we're now gentrifying the spirit realm. Just our megalomania knows no bounds. Really, it's like we stood in the tallest building in Echo Park and we're like, yeah, we can take another dimension. I'll build a yogurt shop on an angel's grave. Growing up, my dad in South Dakota, because I was a little gay boy in South Dakota, growing up, my dad wanted me to do sports to toughen me up. I didn't want to do sports. I was having a great time having Beanie Baby parades. That was more like up here, living my truth, having, Beanie Baby parades and Furby fashion shows, having a grand old time. But no, I had to go do sports because he told me I had to. But I got to choose which sport I wanted to do. So I chose wrestling. I know. It sounded like a great idea on paper. Like, what could go wrong with that one? Like, oh, hey, Joe, how would you like to do this sport where you get to roll around with this muscly farm boy? Oh, yeah, that one sounds like a great... Okay, here's the thing. He wants to kill you. You're going to be in an auditorium for all your friends and family in your Catholic high school, and you're going to be wearing the most boner-revealing article of clothing ever designed by man. It's like the wrestling leotard was designed to detect stolen boners, like you'd make your slaves, or if you owned a boner plantation. Like, what monkey's paw that I wish my puberty dreams on. This is like a wet dream in the Twilight Zone. Can I tell you guys a true story? I feel like I could tell you this. Get vulnerable. I one time, in high school, deliberately lost a wrestling match that I was winning because I thought I was going to come. I know. I think I felt, everybody. It was plenty embarrassing. And not only was it embarrassing, like, the team needed me. Like, you can't just go coming on people when the team needs you. That's not the lesson of sports. That was our big rivals, Groton. We needed those 6 points, everybody. And I was going, coming on people. It was tough to explain to the coach, everybody. He just comes rushing up to the mat afterwards. Dosch, what the hell? I thought you had him. Well, I almost did in a way, Because I think we can all agree, if you come on someone in a wrestling match, you win. I don't think the ref's counting near fall anymore once there's a load in play. Like, coming on someone in a wrestling match, it's like catching the snitch in Harry Potter. You just win instantly. And I think if you come on someone in the Olympics, in any event, just curling, bronze, why not? Like if Ryan Lochte came on Michael Phelps, who would we really be talking about to this day? I'm saying. I think that banks are the devil. Yeah. Well. Yeah. Right. Well. Okay. I went in to make a deposit in my bank yesterday. And I gave them a check, and I go, excuse me, can I use the bathroom real quick? And they go, no, sir, you can't use the bathroom. You can't. And I just thought, oh, okay. I just thought, hey, maybe you'd let me, since I gave you all the money I have. They have all of it. Like, you can walk into a bank and give them $1,000, and you can't use their bathroom. If I go into Ralph's and buy a pear, go ahead. Banks are so powerful, and they're supposed to be so good with money, but their price of urine is not competitive at all. Like, if I go into a bank and give them $5,000 to take a pee, now not enough. If I go into Ralph's with 35 cents, they go, yes, and here's a pear. It's for employees only. For employees, only employees can use the bathroom at the bank. Only employees can use. It costs a human life to pee at the bank. You have to sell them one human life to pee at the bank is what they want. Oh yeah, they'll give you enough money and like time off. They'll like go home and sleep and come back and do it again. But you've got to give them your whole life to pee at the bank. You've got to take your whole life's energy and sell it to the bank. And in order to pee at the bank, you have to sell them your soul. You know who else buys souls for things? The devil. Banks are the devil. That didn't come around nearly as well as I would have liked. I thought that was so goddamn clever in my car. See, see, this is my goddamn problem. I'm just driving around thinking of things I think are clever. It's like, oh, you're gonna tie it all together with a Faust reference at the end. I don't really get their go-to, smug cunt. Can I tell you another problem I'm having being a sober gay man, everyone? Because I can't do drugs anymore, I'll die or whatever. But it occurred, someone pointed out to me that poppers count as drugs. Right, they're on my level. The rest of you, if you don't know, poppers are drugs that gay men huff so we can fit dicks in ourselves a little more easily. And now I'm going into a Trump presidency where I can't drink or fit cocks in myself. Like, what do you want from me? God, I'm just a man down here. Like, I think I'm allowed a couple cheap pleasures to get through the trials and tribulations of the human condition. Like, what am I, Job? Poppers make me uncomfortable, anyway. Poppers make me feel like Republicans are sort of right. Well, I'm as out and proud as an expert, but when you are huffing VCR cleaner so you can comfortably fit sex up your butt, a little bit of you does go, I'm not supposed to be doing this. You're gonna meet a nice girl or something. This is some kind of this is part of the plan. I don't know how men fuck each other before modern technology. Heterosexuals, you're just good to go for the most part. Like, if I'm gonna get fucked in the butt, I've got to start planning it like 3 in the afternoon. Do you realize? Like, there's like plugs and turkey bastery looking things involved. I don't know how men fuck each other in the 1700s. They just must not have minded getting blood on the straw. Gang, that's my favorite punchline to anything I've ever read. And you just can't take that away from me. Just blood on the straw, a man sodomizing another man on a straw mattress. It's just good, clean fun. And I suggest you drop the rock and learn how to enjoy life. All I'm trying to say. So we're not over racism at all in America. That's kind of abundantly clear. Remember like a year ago, we were like, hey, it's kind of done. No. I think I have figured out the moment we're going to know, though, that we're done with racism in this country. I figured out the exact moment I'm going to know, at least. There's a house on my street that every Halloween, they decorate their whole yard into a big haunted house yard. They have just scary crap everywhere. It's really elaborate. It's cool. They even have like a big dummy hanging from a noose in a tree that reaches over the street. Yeah, it's really, really scary, really cool. And we're going to know that we're done with racism when you can have a haunted house with a dummy hanging from a noose in it that's black, and people just go, that's just a regular haunted house. Nothing shitty going on there. It's just scary fun for everybody. That reminds me of nothing. Except fear is all. Good, clean, fun fear. I think that's the one area of life where we should actively not pursue diversity. Haunted house news dummies. Oh, y'all, that never works. Never. God bless you. I'm gonna need to get walked out of this bar. I can be a real smartass, everyone. Do you ever just feel like in life you're like owed a fist, vaguely? I don't know. I've had that feeling for a while. Been reading a lot of philosophy lately. What the? How about you? What's your name, Miss? Kellyanne. Hi, Kellyanne. Can I ask you a moral question, Kellyanne? This is like a moral, philosophical question. It'll be kind of character revealing about who you really are, Kellyanne. Okay. Kellyanne, you know how they're making the sex robots? Right. We all know what the sex robots that they're making. Right. Okay. Kellyanne, do you think that we, as a society, ought to be making child sex robots for pedophiles so they don't have to molest real kids?
I'm on board.
You're on board. Okay. But you're not like Spartacusing the whole thing. You're like,
I'm not gonna make the robot.
yeah. So you let someone else do your dirty work for you. I see how it is. You know. I gotta be honest with you. I'm just proud of you for answering, because most of the time when I do this joke, people just like they answer it like a fucking politician. Like, no, well, I think the child sex robot issue ought to be left to the states, and that's what makes America strong. I think they should too. Not so much to save kids. I don't give a shit about that. It's just we gotta make some goddamn manufacturing jobs in this country. I don't know if you all have been to places like Ohio or like the Rust Belt, but some child fuck robot factories are just what Trump would not have won if we had child sex robot factories in America. Do you have a better plan? I'm over here trying to save the middle class and shit. I'm just whining about it all day. I don't know what other industry we could have in America that's actually going to like save the middle class. Because they're never, like, what else can we make in America that's not just going to move overseas? Because they're never going to move the child sex robot factories to Mexico. They have too much of a kidnapping problem. That would just be weird. And they're never going to move them to Asia, of all goddamn places. That'd be like making imitation crab meat in New England. That'd just be silly. I think those are the only sex robots we should make. The only one, because they're never going to become sentient and overthrow us. They're going to be too traumatized and insecure. Most people back out of tag early. You guys are... I'm proud of you. For real. I'm proud of you. You know when you get Thai food and they're like, how spicy do you want your food? Most crowds are medium spicy. You guys are fucking very spicy. Pour the red pepper on that shit. Dump it on there. I don't know. You know what bothers me about Trump so much? I feel like the whole Trump thing, it's making me feel like I should hate rednecks, and I fucking don't. I love rednecks. They're the most fun in the world. They're like rednecky places. They have my favorite kind of gay people anywhere in existence, and that's cowgirl lesbians. I don't know if you've ever met they're not like these overeducated Pacific Northwest lesbians. They're not. I'm talking like do a shot of tequila before you go out and say something like, I hope someone calls me a dyke so I can punch someone tonight. Like, you need that spice on your rack. Lesbians are bugging me too. I'm tired of them not getting STDs. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. Who do you think you are? Not getting STDs. Everyone, like, lesbian sex is like riding the bumper cars. It's fun, but you're gonna be fine. Like, what the fuck? Over here ducking AIDS like dodgeball balls. There's so much AIDS. There's so much AIDS in America. It sucks. Well, there is. I mean, she will occurs with the AIDS. So, how many dates I've had that have been going great until that comes out, and I don't feel like you don't just blurt out that you're HIV positive like right when you walk into the coffee bean. You want to. I don't know if you guys know this, but there's this thing with us now where, like, yeah. Are you as well? Excellent. It's you and me alone. You and me, and maybe a couple married people who are like gonna go like home, and the wife is gonna be like, "I'm going to bed early tonight." Yes, grinder. I know how it is. It's not my first rodeo. Anyway. Yeah, that's true. There's this thing with us now, with gay people, with gay men anyway, where it's like I don't ever want to knowingly have sex with someone who's HIV positive, which sounds reasonable, but it's like, there's this thing with us now where, like, if you don't want to have sex with someone who's HIV positive, like, you're like a piece of shit, you're like the worst person who ever lived. I mean, for real, like, I got in an argument with a friend of mine. He once told me I was an ignorant piece of shit for saying I wouldn't fuck someone who's HIV positive, but he once broke up with a guy because he didn't like the Mythbusters. Like, that's where we're at. And he got in my face, too. He was like, Joe, you're an ignorant, stigmatizing piece of shit. But then he'll, like, watch Seinfeld and be like, oh, yeah, Jerry, break up with her. She has man hands. You can't deal with that. I don't know. Apparently, like, there's a thing where you can be positive, but you have so little of the virus that, like, you can't. give it off to people. It's like impossible. But I don't care. I don't want to do it. I don't want. Not even so much that I don't understand the science. It's just I resent that people, like, I resent that you think I don't have complete sovereignty over my own asshole. Do you know what I mean? Like, I will run my asshole like North Korea if I wanted to. It's just my asshole shot 18 holes in one and walked on the moon if I wanted. If you don't like it, you can hit the bricks. Hey, you're not wrong on that one. It just, I don't know. It's good to be back in California. Because going on the road sometimes, it's fun, but it's a little dispiriting because, like, you get a bad gig every now and then recently. I was in San Diego recently, which, I don't love that city, to be perfectly honest. Like, I went out, and like, I try to think that I'm, like, relatable to everyone, but, like, I get to my crowd in San Diego, and it's like, all the men in my audience, they look like they fucked their wives to old Civil War documentaries. So, like, what am I gonna say? These people, like, what's this dude's life? Like, bend over, honey, there's a yellow rose in Texas. Like, they don't relate to me, you know? Like, what am I gonna, like, hey, sir, you know, when you're bottoming and you forget to stretch before, when you fuck, you look like a secretary doing the Macarena? It doesn't relate to my issues. Before I ever did stand-up, I used to be a drag queen for a long time. Thank you. By the way, I was a drag queen in the state of Montana. But yeah, exactly. So fuck these LA bitches. Like, whoa, you dress up like a woman in California, you're so brave, you know? I mean, it was fun, but I'm not very good at it. When I'm in drag, I look like Kelly Osbourne doing the Walk of Shame. It's bless my heart, but come on. But I got to do it at a show recently for a little fundraiser thing. I haven't done it in many years. It was a lot of fun. But a friend of mine comes up to me afterwards, and she goes, "Oh, Joe, you're really pretty, but your makeup is terrible." When she knows for a fact that I learned how to do makeup in my South Dakota attic, just terrified I was going to get caught, maybe get the shit kicked out of me, get thrown out of my house. It's like, would you correct Anne Frank's grammar, you bitch? What's wrong with you? I still believe at heart people are basically well. You ever read The Diary of Anne Frank? It's boring. It's like you had time to do a rewrite or two. You frizzy-haired Dutch bitch. I don't know why. I don't know either. Oh, I have more shit to talk about my trans friends. I used to do drag a lot, just at like comedy scenes going around just like for fun when I first got to town. And there was there's a trans girl in the comedy scene where like at the time I was doing this, she came up to me and she told me that she was out dressed up or whatever, and she told me that someone thought that she was me in drag, and I don't know if you know this, but calling a trans girl a drag queen, it's like touching 40 black women's hair without asking. It's just don't do it. I've done it awful hard. I mean, you got a knowing nod from you, but yeah. I agree, Joe. Don't do that morally questionable thing. I've got too many jokes about my asshole, you guys. That's the thing. That was one of my goals for 2017. I've got a lot of jokes about my asshole. It's like 60% of my act. Let's get it down to a respectable 35. You're 30 years old, Joe. You should be under half, being a mature adult. Is anyone else tired of seeing the posters for 50 Shades of Grey 2 or whatever? Like, if you've ever wanted to fuck a dental hygienist in a mask, boy, you are all in on this. I hate. That book annoys me. That book is like the Mein Kampf of basic bitches. Just why? On that note, though, there's no delicate way to say this, so I start. I've been going to leather bars a lot. Well, I want to get married one day, you guys. I go to the Eagle in Silver Lake a lot. It's like, you know, it's a leather bar that skews kind of like older. It's a lot of like, 50-year-old guys. By the way, it occurred to me the other day, if my father saw the porn I watched, he would probably weep and ask if, was I really that bad? Like that's the way like that one's got to come somehow. But Freud works on both genders, everyone. He is multifaceted. That's all I'm trying to say. But I went to the Eagle recently, went to the Leather Bar recently, and I found out the week before I was there, they hosted a big sex party that got raided by the cops, and I just thought, okay, gay BDSM Leather Bar got raided by the police. That had to have been like the most cooperative series of arrests in LAPD history. Right? Like, I want to know like at what stage in the arrest they realized it wasn't just sexy fun anymore. Was there like some dumb queen who like made it all the way to the courthouse? It's like, ooh, daddy's having me arraigned. Sweetie, no, that's not what's happening. You need to listen. You need to listen to your public defender. This is very serious right now. There's a character I see at the Leather Bar a lot. He's always like in the corner. He's in like a corner like this, and he's always wearing one of those like full body all vinyl suit things that like doesn't have a hole coming out anywhere in it except for a big funnel coming out of the face region, right? And that's for piss, right? Well, sir, they're not pouring cold pressed juices down there. That's a piss funnel for urinating into. And guys, I mean, people were treating him like he was a piece of shit. It was just like, well, they were. I mean, this awful old queen at the bar would just not let it go. He's like, oh my god, that's disgusting. I'm like, you know what? Fucking people used to say that about us. Fucking Harvey Milk didn't get shot in the chest so you could look at Piss Funnel Face Man like he's less than. First they came to the Piss Funnel Face Man. I didn't speak up because I wasn't the Piss Funnel Face Man. Hey, thank you guys very, very much. It's great to be here. Give it up for Scott and Steve and everybody. Thank you guys so much, Scott.
Keep it going for Joe Dosch, everybody. Let's keep it going for all the comics you saw tonight. You guys are a great crowd. You're the best crowd in Los Angeles County. We love you guys so much.